Well, thank you very much, Ken Workington. Yes, indeed, Hall of Famer John Campbell are in the Sulky guest this evening. It's hot out here. We're talking mid-80s. It's mid-July. It's stake season, and this is your time of year, John. You just love the 2- and 3-year-olds, and I think you won stakes races in 3 different states, Thursday, Friday, and Saturday. That's a lot of traveling around.
Yeah, it is, but Paul and I, we drove it. We weren't pressed for time anywhere. It actually was quite relaxing. We got a round of golf in Thursday up in Albany, so it wasn't as stressful as people might think.
And you are actually going to Buffalo Raceway, I think, tomorrow. How long has it been since you drove at Buffalo Raceway?
Well, I just read on the website there, I guess it's been over 20 years. I don't keep track of that, but it's been a while. But I think I'm going up for a pretty nice filly. I like her a lot, and I think she'll race well.
Well, John, speaking of years, you turned 60 this spring, but you are having as good a meet as you've had at the Meadowlands in some time. Your win percentage, 15%, second highest of everyone, and I didn't see you driving for the Burks in January and February when they won everything in sight. You're over 1.4 million at the Meadowlands alone, highest of any drivers. Been on top of your game. You got to feel really good about how things are going.
Well, thanks. Yeah, things are going really well. I've gotten some really good opportunities, more so this winter than I've had just better horses to drive. And, you know, when you get better horses, you drive better. I've always said, if you're second over and you don't do any good, nobody really notices that except your wife.
Well, there you go. Perhaps your biggest night at the Meadowlands, your most satisfying anyhow, was Saturday, June 19th, because your 3 grandkids were here and they got plenty of picture time down in the winner's circle with you. I don't see them at the track too often, but they're jumping up and down behind you to get in the picture here, and they were just tickled. You won like 3 or 4 races that night.
They had a great night. They really had a wonderful experience. They got to come back to the paddock with me after the races, and they're actually coming back to the races tonight, and they can't wait to get here.
Well, they were good luck charms for you 3 weeks ago. We'll see if that plays true tonight. Let's talk about some of your drives this evening. In the Mayor's Open in the 3rd race, you've got Radar Contact, the 6-horse. She has been flat out vicious here all year and has proven that she can race against the top company too.
Yeah, she's just held her form, you know, for an extraordinary length of time here this winter. She didn't race as well in Mohawk, and we kind of found out why, and I was happy with her race at Pocono. It was more just to get her tightened back up, and I think she's going to race really well tonight.
And she is good winging off the gate and cutting it. You can come from off the pace with her. Looks like just a perfect horse to drive.
Yeah, she's got that way. She wasn't that way when she was younger. That's why we can't get pigeonholed with these horses on a style, because her style has completely changed to what it was when she was younger.
Now in the 7th race, number 1 Muscle Diamond was your drive, but he has been scratched, and I'm very disappointed about that, as I'm sure you are too, because I thought he was a major Hambletonian candidate. Only 1 start this year. That was in mid-May. Why did he miss all the time, and what's the story tonight?
Well, he had a little bit of a physical problem that Brett just got set back with, and it wasn't that serious, but it was something he didn't want to take a chance in pushing him with. And I'm not sure what's going on tonight. He just texted me that he wasn't as good as he would like, and he was to be scratched. So I'm still not giving up on the Hambletonian. If we can get him back raced, hopefully next week in the Dancer possibly, and then he'll have the Zwag. So he's got time to get there, but he's got to get it going.
And Overhaul several years ago is kind of the same scenario. He'd been sick and had not been racing, and you got him into the Hambo, and if it wasn't for interference, he easily could have won that race too. So there's still time, but there's not a lot of time for Muscle Diamond.
No, he's got to get raced here in the next couple of weeks for sure, and to get fit. Very happy with his qualifier last week. I think he's the caliber of horse to race in the Hamiltonian and do well, but he's got to be at peak level fitness-wise, and we got to get him raced to do that.
And the big race tonight is the 10th race, the Graduate, for $250,000 for 4-year-old trotters. Number 6, JL Cruz. Let's rewind 1 week ago. This is at Pocono. This is against Sebastian K, and Sebastian K is on the lead. Kind of gets away from you turning for home here, but you wore him down in the shadow of the wire. I still can't believe you won this race.
Well, my horse never gives up. It was Sebastian K's first start, and he did get a little bit tired right at the wire. As I said, my horse goes right down to the wire and tries real hard, and we're fortunate to get him, no question. But he's just been a horse that's gone in his race each and every week all winter long, and at Pocono in the series, and that just did wonders for him, for his confidence. Eric was, fooling with his shoeing a little bit last winter, and he's got him trotting really good, and he's just excelled from January on, and he's a pleasure to drive.
Well, J.L. Cruz, certainly the Cinderella story of the season, but if you can get the job done in the Meadowlands Pacey Limb with the Iowa County Fair Terror rolling and rocking race 11, this would be like Cinderella on amp. You got to shake him out at Goshen in the Landmark. I know you didn't race much up there. What'd the horse race like, and what did you think?
He raced very well. I was very impressed with the horse. it's impossible to tell if he can step out here and go in 48 and a piece. I don't know if he can or he can't, but I know he's a really good horse. He's very handy, he's good gated, he's got pedigree, he's got size. You know, he's got a lot of things going for him. The only thing is the unknown is to step up in competition. And I guess everybody else will know when I do if he can handle that.
And Dwayne and Connie Rowland, his owners, and Dwayne the trainer, they're just tickled to death to be there. They're having the time of their life here at the Meadowlands, and just to get in the Meadowlands pace would be great, and to do some good would be like a dream come true for farmers from Iowa that just race horses as a hobby.
Yeah, it is a great story, and as I said, I was very impressed with the horse, but I was also very impressed with Dwayne. He knows his horses, very good horseman. Everything he said and told me about the horse was spot on, and you know, going into the race, I think he believes he's got him as good as he's ever had him in his life, and you know, he knows the horse better than anyone.
Well, you drew inside the favorites in that elimination. Certainly he'll have every chance in the world to make the final. You've just got to be in the top 5 out of 7. And again, just to get in would really be something. 12th race, number 8, Delhi Beach in the Mistletoe Chalet elimination for Brett Biddle. Why did you opt for her in the Lynch final over the show returns, who you've been driving and doing very well with?
Well, Lon Farchon is a very good personal friend of mine. I was going to wait and see what happened with the draw with them, because Delhi Beach raced really well in their elimination. But Mr. Young decided he didn't want to wait for the draw, so he chose to put Timmy down. So I raced Delhi Beach, and after the draw I was very happy, but we were just disappointed. Something came up with her physically. She didn't go her race at all, and she just didn't finish well. But she's a better filly than that, and you know, if she goes back to her elimination race, I'm pretty sure she'll get qualified tonight.
And that's the group to be in. The 3-year-old pacing fillies just look like they're wide open so far this year. I mean, anybody can win.
Yeah, they are. You know, it certainly has been open with Sasa Hanover and JK. She's a lady not coming back as good as they were too, or not as consistent as they were too. But you know, there's always a chance that they're going to come back and dominate. But right now, it is fairly wide open.
John, last topic for you. In some ways, harness racing, this is the best it could possibly be. The purses are great. The Sire Stakes programs in Pennsylvania and New York. Ohio's back in a big way. Indiana's pretty healthy, but there are issues too. Certainly not an overabundance of horses. We've kind of sold our souls to the slots at all these tracks, and we're racing during the day on weekdays rather than the weekends. What's your perspective on the state of harness racing right now?
Well, I think we've got work to do. We have to offer more value on the tote board across North America. If you look at the tote board to racetracks, there's too many overwhelming favorites, and that's always been something that I feel is a big problem for the industry. We have to get away from that somehow and have a tote board look at as a favorite at 5-2 and a long shot at 15-1. You know, having said that, it's much harder to do than people would think, and I don't have an answer for that. The horse shortage, I think the only thing that's really going to change the breeding industry to breed more horses is if we get slots here in New Jersey and the Sire Stake program and the breeders get a real good cut of that to make it an incentive to breed horses in New Jersey and bring the standard bred breeding industry back in New Jersey. That would change the whole dynamics of our entire industry if that happened. So I think more value on the tote board, and you know, hopefully the slots and the right cut for the horsemen are things that we have to do or hope for in the future.
Well, based on what we've seen over the last couple months here at the Meadowlands, we're a little further along on the slots than you and I probably thought we'd ever be, so we'll just have to see how things turn out. John, thanks for a few minutes of your time. Good luck tonight, and appreciate it as always.
Thanks. Anytime, Sam.
Hall of Famer John Campbell. We'll take a quick time out. We'll slide Hollywood Hayden into the air chair and tee up the Meadowlands Pace Eliminations. Hang with us.